Tom Wilson, a 58-year-old retired mechanic from a quiet town in Iowa, had settled into a routine shaped by grief. 3 years earlier, his wife Sue succumbed to breast cancer after a valiant 2-year battle. Sue had been the heart of their home, her laughter filling the rooms during family dinners, her gentle hands tending the garden where she grew vibrant tomatoes and sunflowers each summer. Tom remembered the hospital visits, the chemotherapy sessions where he'd hold her hand, whispering promises of better days. But those days never came.
After her passing, the house on Oak Street felt like a shell. Their children had long since flown the nest. Son Mike, now 32, lived in Seattle with his wife Emily and their toddler daughter Lily, working as a software engineer. Daughter Laura, 29, was in Miami. Life's demands kept them anchored elsewhere. Tom understood. He didn't want to burden them.
Mornings started with black coffee on the porch, watching the sunrise paint the cornfields gold. He'd tinker in his garage, fixing old clocks or restoring a vintage Ford truck, but the joy was gone. Evenings brought walks with Baxter, their loyal golden retriever, along the winding paths of the local park. Baxter, sensing Tom's sorrow, would nuzzle his leg, a small comfort in the silence. Tom had joined a grief support group briefly, but the stories mirrored his too closely, reopening wounds. He'd sifted through Sue's belongings, donating clothes but keeping her favorite scarf, which still carried a faint scent of lavender. Holidays were the hardest. Thanksgiving without her apple pie, Christmas without her decorating the tree with handmade ornaments. Friends invited him over, but Tom preferred solitude, convinced his heart was too scarred for new bonds. This is it, he'd think, staring at the empty side of the bed. Just me and the memories now. Yet, subtle changes crept in. Tom started volunteering at the community center, teaching basic auto repair to teens. It gave purpose, a distraction from the echoing house. He'd cook simple meals, steak and potatoes, recalling Sue's recipes with a bittersweet smile. Books on fishing lined his shelves. He planned a solo trip to the Mississippi River, where he and Sue once picnicked. Life was predictable, resigned, but not unbearable. Tom had accepted his fate, a quiet fade into old age. One crisp autumn day, he visited Sue's grave, laying fresh daisies, her favorite. "I miss you every day," he whispered to the headstone. The wind rustled leaves, as if in reply. Back home, he flipped through photo albums. Their wedding in '89, kids' first steps, family vacations to the Grand Canyon. Tears came less often now, replaced by a dull ache. Tom wondered if this was healing or just numbness. Little did he know, change was knocking. Literally. The town itself mirrored Tom's life. Small, unchanging. Neighbors waved from porches. The diner served the same greasy burgers. Tom shopped at the local grocery, chatting with the cashier about weather. But inside, he felt adrift, like a boat without sails. He'd tried online dating once, swiping through profiles, but it felt wrong, disloyal. "Sue was my one and only," he'd say to Baxter, who tilted his head sympathetically. Solitude had become his companion, familiar, if not comforting. As winter approached, Tom prepared the house, stocking firewood, insulating windows. He watched football alone, cheering half-heartedly. Dreams brought Sue back, vivid, laughing, waking him with longing. Therapy crossed his mind, but pride held him back. "I'm fine," he'd tell himself. Deep down, he yearned for connection, but fear of more loss kept him isolated. The stage was set for an unexpected turn, one that would challenge his resignation and reignite his spirit.
Tom's daily rituals included reading the newspaper with breakfast, solving crosswords to keep his mind sharp. He maintained the garden in Sue's honor, though weeds sometimes won. Baxter's vet visits were social highlights, chatting with the receptionist about pets. Life's nuances, a neighbor's baked goods, a call from Mike sharing Lily's first words. These sparks reminded Tom of joy's possibility, but he dismissed them, until that fateful knock disrupted his quiet world.
In the evenings, Tom often sat by the fireplace, flames, dancing shadows on walls adorned with family photos. He'd sip whiskey, reminiscing about road trips with Sue, stopping at roadside diners, stargazing in national parks. The emptiness was palpable, but he'd adapted, finding solace in routine. Little nuances like Baxter's wagging tail or a good book provided fleeting warmth. Tom had built walls around his heart, convinced love was a chapter closed forever, but life had other plans. One blustery November evening, as Tom settled into his armchair with a mystery novel, a sharp knock echoed through the house. Baxter barked, tail wagging curiously. Tom glanced at the clock, 7:30 p.m., wondering who could be calling at this hour. The wind howled outside, carrying hints of impending snow. He set down his book, shuffled to the door in his worn slippers, and peered through the peephole. A woman stood there, bundled in a coat, her breath visible in the cold air.
Opening the door, Tom was met by a friendly face. A woman in her early 50s, with chestnut hair peeking from under a wool hat and green eyes that sparkled despite the chill. "Hi, I'm Claire," she said, her voice warm and slightly out of breath. "I just moved in next door last week. Sorry to bother you, but my power's out. I think it's the breaker. Could you take a look? I'm hopeless with these things." Tom hesitated, then nodded. "Sure. Let me grab my toolkit."
Claire's house was a mirror of his own, cozy but in need of TLC. As they crossed the yard, leaves crunching underfoot, she chatted nervously. "I came from Minnesota, sold my flower shop after my husband passed. Needed a fresh start." Tom murmured sympathies, feeling a pang of kinship. In her basement, flashlight beam cutting through dust, he inspected the panel. "Ah, here's the culprit. A tripped breaker from that old wiring." He flipped it back, and lights flickered on upstairs.
Grateful, Claire insisted on tea. They sat in her kitchen, unpacked boxes scattered around, sipping chamomile. She shared more. Widowed 2 years ago from a heart attack. No kids, just a cat named Whiskers. "Life's funny," she said. "One day you're planning vacations, the next you're alone." Tom opened up about Sue, the cancer, the void. Their shared loss created an instant bond, conversations flowing like old friends. As he left, Claire smiled. "Thanks again, neighbor." Back home, Tom reflected on the encounter. Claire's energy was refreshing, her laugh light, stories engaging. He hadn't talked that much in months. Baxter seemed to approve, sniffing Tom's shoes curiously. That night, sleep came easier, thoughts drifting to her flower shop tales. The next day, spotting her raking leaves, Tom waved. She called over. "Coffee sometime?" He agreed, surprised by his own eagerness. A spark had ignited in his routine existence. Claire's nuances emerged. A love for jazz records, collected from thrift stores. A habit of baking scones on rainy days. Tom found himself comparing. Sue loved classical, but appreciating differences. Their first coffee was awkward at first. Small talk about weather, but deepened to hobbies. "I fish," Tom said. "I garden," Claire replied. Plans formed. Perhaps a joint outing. Tom felt guilty, as if betraying Sue, but pushed it aside. Life was stirring again. Over weeks, interactions grew.
Claire borrowed tools for fixes, Tom helped hang shelves. They'd share meals, her lasagna, his grilled chicken. Nuances, her quirky habit of talking to plants, his stories of mechanic mishaps. Baxter adored her, rolling for belly rubs. Children noticed during calls, "Dad sounds happier." Tom downplayed it, but inside, warmth bloomed. The knock that started as a favor was unraveling his isolation, thread by thread. One evening, rain pattering windows, Claire knocked again, with homemade soup. "For the cold weather," she said. They watched a movie, laughing at comedies. Tom felt young, alive. Nuances in her touch, a pat on the arm, stirred forgotten feelings. He confided fears of moving on. She shared hers. "We're not replacing," she whispered. "We're honoring by living." That night, Tom dreamed of new beginnings, the door's knock echoing as a symbol of hope. Claire's background added layers, an artist at heart, painting watercolors of landscapes. Tom admired her work, hanging one in his living room. They explored town fairs, sharing cotton candy like teens. Nuances, her optimism clashing with his caution, teaching him balance. Friends noticed Tom's smile returning. The relationship budded slowly, rooted in mutual respect and shared healing. What began with a power outage illuminated paths both thought darkened forever. As winter deepened, snow blanketing yards, their bond strengthened. Claire's cat Whiskers visited, playing with Baxter. Tom fixed her leaky faucet, she organized his cluttered garage. Conversations turned intimate, dreams unfulfilled, regrets softened by time. Nuances of vulnerability emerged, building trust. Tom realized this wasn't replacement, it was continuation. The unexpected knock had opened not just a door, but his heart to possibility once more. As weeks turned to months, Tom and Claire's interactions evolved from neighborly favors to genuine friendship. Spring arrived in Iowa, bringing blooms to gardens and a thaw to Tom's heart. They'd meet for morning walks with Baxter and Whiskers tagging along, discussing everything from politics to favorite recipes. Claire's enthusiasm for life was contagious. She dragged Tom to the local farmer's market, where they sampled cheeses and picked fresh berries. Shared interests surfaced naturally. Both loved reading. Tom favored historical biographies. Claire, mysteries by Agatha Christie. They started a mini book club, swapping novels and debating plots over coffee. "You see the twists coming?" she'd tease. Tom discovered her passion for gardening went beyond flowers. She experimented with herbs, creating teas that soothed his occasional arthritis. In return, he taught her basic car maintenance, laughing as oil smudged her hands. Nuances enriched their bond. Claire's quirky collection of vintage postcards from travels with her late husband sparked Tom's memories of road trips with Sue. They'd pore over them, sharing stories, her to Paris, his to Yellowstone. One weekend, they drove to the Mississippi River for fishing. Claire baited hooks clumsily, but her joy at catching a catfish made Tom grin widely. Picnics followed, with her homemade sandwiches and his tales of youthful adventures. Emotional layers deepened. Claire confessed nights of loneliness, staring at empty ceilings. Tom shared his guilt over enjoying life without Sue. "It's okay to feel again," she said gently. They attended a town concert, swaying to folk music under stars. Nuances. Her hand brushing his sent sparks. He noticed her scent, fresh like spring rain. Friends whispered about the new couple, but Tom and Claire took it slow, cherishing the organic growth. Holidays brought new traditions. For Easter, Claire hosted brunch, decorating with her floral arrangements. Tom's kids called, sensing change. "Who's Claire, Dad?" He described her as a friend, but warmth in his voice betrayed more. Laura visited, approving instantly. "She makes you light up." Shared projects flourished. Renovating Claire's porch swing, planting a vegetable patch. Nuances of compatibility. Both early risers, coffee aficionados, animal lovers. Challenges arose too. A storm damaged Tom's roof. Claire helped tarp it, their teamwork seamless. When Baxter fell ill, she sat with Tom at the vet, offering comfort. Nuances. Her optimism balanced his pragmatism. They explored hobbies together, bird watching in the park, where she identified species he never noticed. Evenings often ended with stargazing, pondering life's mysteries. Tom felt alive, rediscovering joy in simple companionship. Cultural outings added spice. A visit to the state fair, riding the Ferris wheel, sharing funnel cakes. Claire's laughter echoed Sue's, but uniquely hers, bubbly, infectious. Tom opened up about regrets, not traveling more with Sue. Claire encouraged dreams. "Let's plan a trip." Their bond, woven from shared grief and new discoveries, grew stronger. Nuances of intimacy crept in. Longer hugs, meaningful glances, hinting at romance blooming amid friendship.
Summer brought barbecues in Claire's yard, inviting neighbors. Tom manned the grill, Claire prepared salads. Stories flowed, her flower shop anecdotes, his mechanic mishaps. Kids noticed during video calls. Mike sent fishing gear as a couple's gift. Nuances. Claire's touch lingered, sparking butterflies in Tom. They danced to radio tunes one night, awkward but sweet. The friendship, rich with interests, was transitioning to something deeper, healing old wounds. Personal growth emerged. Claire joined Tom's repair classes, empowering herself. Tom tried painting with her, creating clumsy but cherished art. Nuances, vulnerabilities shared, fears of aging alone. Supportive gestures, her notes of encouragement, his fixed appliances. As leaves turned golden, their connection felt inevitable, a testament to life's resilience. What started as help with a breaker had sparked a profound, multifaceted relationship.
By fall, they were inseparable. Apple picking, hay rides, cozy fires. Claire's nuances, her love for puzzles, holiday baking, complemented Tom's. He realized shared interests weren't coincidence, but fate's gentle nudge. The blossoming friendship, laced with laughter and empathy, paved the way for love. Tom marveled at how life, once dim, now glowed with possibility, thanks to this unexpected alliance of souls. As their relationship deepened, Tom grappled with inner turmoil. Guilt gnawed at him. Every laugh with Claire felt like a betrayal of Sue's memory. Nights brought dreams where Sue appeared, her eyes questioning. "Am I forgetting her?" he'd wonder, staring at wedding photos. Claire sensed his hesitation, gently probing. "It's normal to feel conflicted. We're both carrying past loves." Her understanding eased some pain, but doubts lingered. Nuances of conflict. Tom's reluctance to hold hands publicly, fearing judgment. Claire shared her own fears, worrying she'd never match Sue's place. They talked openly, therapy-style sessions over tea. "Honor the past by embracing the present," Claire advised, drawing from her grief books. Tom visited Sue's grave more, whispering updates. "I've met someone kind." It helped, bridging old and new. Children encouraged. "Mom would want you happy, Dad."
Challenges tested them. A health scare, Tom's high blood pressure, prompted Claire's care. Healthy meals, walks. Her support mirrored Sue's, stirring mixed emotions. Nuances, jealousy of memories, but Claire never competed, instead, celebrating Sue's legacy. "Tell me more about her," she'd say. Tom opened albums, sharing stories, turning grief into shared history. This vulnerability strengthened their bond, transforming conflict into connection.
External pressures arose. Town gossip labeled them the widower's romance. Tom bristled, but Claire laughed it off. Let them talk. Nuances of resilience. Her optimism clashed with his caution, leading to growth. A family visit from Laura revealed tensions, subtle questions about intentions. Tom defended, "We're taking it slow." Through it, Claire's patience shone, helping Tom confront fears of loss. "Life's too short for what-ifs," she said. Inner dialogues intensified. Tom journaled thoughts, prose of new love versus loyalty to past. Nuances, physical attraction stirred guilt, but Claire's touch healed. They attended a grief workshop together, learning tools for moving forward. Shared tears bonded them deeper. Tom's sons called supportively, "Go for it, Dad." Gradually, conflicts softened, replaced by acceptance. Claire's nuances, her empathy, humor, proved she was a partner, not a replacement. Milestones marked progress. First holiday together, blending traditions. Sue's pie recipe with Claire's floral centerpieces. Nuances of integration, it felt right, not forced. Tom's dreams shifted, Sue smiling approvingly. He confided in a friend. It's like finding light after darkness. Claire faced her demons too, admitting fears of heartbreak. Mutual reassurance built trust. Conflicts, once barriers, became bridges to deeper understanding. Emotional nuances. Tom's occasional withdrawals met with Claire's space-giving grace. They explored therapy, unpacking baggage. We're building on foundations, not erasing them, the counselor said. Family dynamics evolved. Kids visited, warming to Claire's charm. Nuances, her gifts for grandkids, stories captivating them. Tom's heart mended, conflicts resolving into harmony. The journey through doubt fortified their emerging love. As summer faded, a pivotal moment, Tom proposed a weekend getaway to a cabin by the lake. Hesitation lingered, but Claire's excitement won. There, amid nature's serenity, they shared deepest fears and hopes. Nuances, starlit confessions, tender embraces. Tom realized love wasn't finite. His for Sue endured, making room for Claire. Conflicts navigated. He embraced the future, grateful for this second chance at companionship. Reflection brought clarity. Tom saw nuances in his growth, from isolated widower to open-hearted man. Claire's influence, her vitality, wisdom, catalyzed change. Family approved fully, planning joint holidays. Conflicts, though challenging, enriched their story, proving vulnerability's power. Tom learned healing isn't linear, but with the right person, it's transformative. The inner battles won, peace settled in his soul. In quiet moments, Tom marveled at fate's twists. Nuances of synchronicity, both lovers of autumn hikes. Coffee black. Conflicts resolved, their relationship flourished, a testament to resilience. Tom's heart, once guarded, now welcomed joy unreservedly. The navigation through doubt had not only strengthened him,
but illuminated a path to renewed happiness he never anticipated. A year after that fateful knock, Tom and Claire stood on his porch, watching spring rain nourish their shared garden. Their relationship had blossomed into love, quiet, mature, profound. They decided to live together, merging homes, Claire's art in Tom's living room, his tools in her shed. Baxter and Whiskers coexisted peacefully, symbols of their blended lives. Tom's children visited often, embracing Claire as family. The happy ending unfolded naturally. They traveled to the Grand Canyon, honoring past memories while creating new ones, hiking trails, sharing sunsets. Claire reopened a small flower stand at the market, Tom assisting with deliveries. Nuances, their complementary strengths, his practicality, her creativity, made daily life joyful. Holidays buzzed with grandkids' laughter, blending traditions seamlessly. Love, once thought lost, returned in full bloom. Tom reflected on lessons learned. Life can surprise with second chances when least expected. "I thought my story ended with Sue," he'd say, "but it was just a new chapter." Claire echoed, "Grief shapes us, but doesn't define us." Nuances of wisdom, appreciating small moments, a shared glance, a warm meal. They volunteered at hospice, offering comfort from experience. Happiness wasn't about forgetting, but integrating past into present. Family dynamics thrived. Mike's family stayed for weeks. Laura hosted them in Miami. Grandkids adored Aunt Claire's stories. Nuances, her handmade gifts, his fishing lessons. Tom proposed modestly over dinner, a simple ring, tears of joy. Their wedding was intimate, backyard vows, neighbors toasting. Life's turnaround proved resilience's power. Even in later years, love could reignite, bringing fulfillment unforeseen. Tom wrote a memoir snippet for a local paper, inspiring others. "Don't close your door to possibility," he advised. Claire's flowers symbolized renewal. Nuances, daily affirmations of love, like notes left on counters. As they aged gracefully, hand in hand, Tom's heart swelled with gratitude. The happy ending wasn't fairy tale perfect, but real, rooted in healing, growth, and unexpected joy. Broader lessons resonated. Solitude needn't be permanent. Connections heal. Nuances. Embracing vulnerability leads to strength. Their stories spread in town, encouraging widowers to open up. Tom's final thought? Life may dim, but a single knock can relight it. With Claire, he lived fully, proving that even after profound loss, happiness awaits those who dare to answer the door. Years later, sitting by the fire, grandkids at their feet, Tom and Claire shared glances of contentment. Nuances, her head on his shoulder, Baxter snoring nearby. Life's tapestry, woven with threads of sorrow and joy, was richer for it. The happy ending taught, hope persists, love endures. Tom's journey from resignation to renewal became a beacon. No matter the age, life can bloom anew when least anticipated. Community involvement grew. They hosted grief support meetings, sharing insights. Nuances, Claire's empathetic listening, Tom's practical advice. Family bonds strengthened. Holidays filled with multi-generational cheer. Tom's health improved with Claire's healthy habits. The ending, happy and grounded, underscored life's unpredictability. "Expect the unexpected," they'd laugh. Their union proved second acts can be as fulfilling as firsts. In quiet reflection, Tom acknowledged growth, from isolated man to loving partner. Nuances, Daily rituals like morning coffee together, evening walks hand in hand. Claire's presence healed scars, not erasing but softening them. Lessons: cherish connections, embrace change. Their story, a testament to resilience, inspired many. Happiness, found unexpectedly, reminded all life offers renewal even when hope fades.
Ultimately, Tom and Claire's tale concluded with profound peace, nuances, shared dreams realized, a small cabin retreat, travels planned. Grandkids' visits brought youthful energy. The happy ending, rich with love and lessons, affirmed. After loss, life can realign beautifully. Tom's final wisdom: when you least expect it, joy knocks. Answer and let it in. Their bond, enduring and true, illuminated the path for others.
If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and write in the comments what you would have done if you were in Michael's place.